Hello everyone, my name is the Chemist77 and welcome to episode 32 of Farming Minecraft. I'm here in the end kitted out in my newly trimmed armor. We did this last episode slash live on stream when I went out exploring all the 1.20 features, or not all of them but most of them, because I finally updated to 1.20, which is very nice. Now today, obviously, we're standing in the industrial district, so we're going to be building a farm. Now, this is a slightly odd farm, because I'm not really going to be using what I get from the farm directly. I really need this farm to build at least a couple of other farms. That's sort of quite how I like to roll with these things, is just build farms so I can build other farms. And yeah, and that farm is a dripstone farm. Now, much like a couple of the other farms that I've built here, like the wheat farm there, the bamboo farm there, that is a bit bad, not gonna lie. This is also designed to fit inside one chunk, and you can sort of tell from here as well that it is modular. But yeah, as you can see, it's sort of built up in this modular design. We have the soil sand at the bottom here, and then water on top of dripstone here, and it just follows up. Hoppers under soil sand, up to that. And this one, I've got 4 modules. I apparently accidentally left the diamond blocks in. But yeah, and so if I wanted to, if I decided it was a bit slow, I could just add more of these modules on top, theoretically all the way up to build height. I don't particularly want to do that because that is a lot. And just these 4 modules requires some of those observers, and yeah, some more there as well. Yeah, quite a lot of observers just for these 4 modules, and that was a bit of a pain to clear up. But anyway, I'm gonna build up I think just a whole module. I was debating whether to do a module or a slice, but I'll build up a whole module, and yeah, then we can see how it works. I also do now have replay mod installed, so we can do a little time lapse. And there we go. That is the first of module gone up. As you can see, I've added some shroom lights in because, of course, I completely forgot about the fact that this needs to be spawn proof. So I just chucked a few frog lights in at the corners here, and that will stop endermen spawning down here. And just coming in here, you can now see how this farm works. So dripstone has a mechanic where if there is a water source block above the block that it is attached to, I can't remember if this has to be a dripstone block itself. I will add in post whether it does or not. I think it does, but I may be completely wrong. And so yeah, this is all based on random ticks again. So the same way crops grow, etc. And it will either grow one down, or like we have here, it will add a stalagmite on the bottom. Now, the way I always remember between stalactites and stalagmites is stalactites can cling tight to the ceiling. Stalagmites are like little mites on the ground. It's a bit irrelevant for this, but just a fun thing on how I remember them. So yeah, so it will either continue to grow as a stalactite, or it will start growing these stalagmites on the floor. And yeah, so we can see, obviously, I've got all the water sources above here. We can see there's a stalagmite started there, and we can see here this one, in fact 2 of these here have started growing as stalagmites, and we can see in the next one as well they've continued to grow. And so basically this is such a height that it will form stalagmites even when it's 1 tall, and there will be there can be a dripstone block across this entire length here, and I've got the observer right in the middle here. So as soon as some dripstone grows here, whether that's from generating up like this or down from the ceiling, it will fire both of these pistons like so. And what that does is the piston at the bottom will break all of the stalagmites, and you'll have a fresh surface here to grow more. And the piston at the top here will break one underneath the sort of, I guess what I'll call it, the seed dripstone. And so what that does is that gets rid of all of the dripstone along here and leaves this one back up the top, which can grow more. Now, once this all breaks, it will drop as items onto this soul sand, and that's why we're using soul sand here, and not just a spawn-proof block, because it would work with glass. However, I'm using soul sand here because it is less than a block tall. We've used sort of similar mechanisms previously. I think way back at the start of this series, one of the sugarcane farms I built, I used a few bits of mud for the same principle because it's less than a block high, and the entities can actually get picked up by all of these hoppers below. Now we're not using mud here because it would take a lot of mud, and I don't have a mud farm yet. That's partly why we're building the dripstone farm. But soul sand works just as well, and because I have a bartering farm and I can get loads of soul sand from there, it's not a problem. So once the entities fall in the hopper here, they run into this smart dropper and then into this water stream, which will go to a storage system. Now, the storage, unfortunately, isn't going to be within the chunk. I'm just going to pop a quick soul sand bubble elevator here that goes up and then into some chests, which I'll just have along the side here. You shouldn't need too many chests. It's not going to be a massively fast farm. And because it's only producing the one item of pointed dripstone, we don't need any item filters either. There'll just be a small bank of chests along the side here for storage. But yeah, I'm gonna quickly build up the storage, and then yeah, the rest of the farm. This will probably take me quite a while. Yeah, let's go. And there we have it, one 4-story pointed dripstone farm built. And as we float down here, you can just about see inside all of the dripstone growing. I hope it's not glowing. And you can see it most at the bottom here, obviously, because this is the module that has been growing the longest. So you can see there's quite a few down here. I think this one's been out for long. Yeah.
And we can see some quite large stalagmites growing on the floor here. It's not necessarily the fastest farm, but dripstone farms rarely are, just because of the random tick nature of the farm. Now, this design is probably a little different to what you are used to seeing with dripstone farms. Normally, these will be flying machine based, and you'll have basically a massive long tunnel with a flying machine that'll go back and forth along. But this one doesn't use flying machines, and it originally came about from an Il Mango video I was watching. I think it was from his Skyblock series recently, where he was wanting a kelp farm that didn't use a flying machine. And so often large-scale kelp farms will use flying machines on kelp plants, but he didn't want one. I think one of the main reasons was because if you unload it whilst the flying machine is going, then it breaks. And so I thought, well, that'd be an interesting challenge to give myself for other farms. Now, obviously, the bamboo farm over there is flying machine based, but you could probably do a similar thing with this. And so, yeah, I decided to apply it to a dripstone farm, and yeah, it's worked quite well. Now, obviously, I did also add the constraint of trying to keep it within a chunk. If you didn't want to do that, you could just expand this out just as long as you want this way. So because of the nature of this design, each sort of slice is, completely tileable. You don't even need these bits along. You could just have, this single 4 wide bit and just extend it along. So if you've got like a really tight space, but it's like long and thin, then you could just stick a single slice and just extend it really far out. But yeah, so that's how this design came about. And originally, wherever you see like these note blocks and concrete blocks, these were originally just all observers. And then I realized as I was starting the live stream to do the results gathering for this, actually it would probably make sense to just add note blocks in between. And then someone appeared up in chat and made the very good point that solid blocks will also power note blocks. So that was another load of observers I could get rid of. I mean, as you saw at the start of the video, it still used a lot of observers, over a shulker box of them. But yeah, far less now that we've got note blocks and just concrete, which obviously I've got the concrete factory over there, so we're never short of that. Aside from that, obviously, I had a small oversight with the lighting. Again, just a few streamlights was an easy fix for that. But anyway, I'm now going to wait here because I need quite a lot for my clay and mud farm. But anyway, yeah, that'll do it for today's episode. If you liked the video, then give it a like. And if you want to see more from the world, then yeah, do subscribe because we've got some fun things planned. However, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with video scheduling in the future. Same goes for live streaming. So normally I'll be live streaming over on twitch.tv/thechemist77. But I am due to move out of my house this week. And I'm not moving into my new house for another couple of weeks or so. I'm just going to be staying with some friends. So I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with episodes and live streaming. Live streaming almost definitely won't be happening. I'm going to try and pre-record some episodes. I mean, I'm finishing recording this episode on the Monday, and I've got to move out on the Thursday. So yeah, it's all going to be a bit tight. I might get one pre-recorded episode done, but yeah. We'll see. There may not be anything for a while. I'll post updates and stuff on my Instagram and on my YouTube post bit. But yeah, that'll do it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!